Critics call it a blood sport. Mixed martial arts, the combination of boxing, kicking, and grappling, often inside of a steel cage. Two men beating each other into submission, a sport some critics say is so brutal, so violent. Lawmakers in New York and 6 other states have banned MMA competitions. Fighters can train here, but to compete, they and the fans who love it must leave the state. So with that said, what looks wrong with this picture? As MMA grows in popularity, a different demographic is getting involved. A tough sport once considered for men only is for women, like Amanda Head, women who believe they too belong inside the steel cage.
The guys are always bigger, heavier, stronger, tougher, so we have a lot to make up for. Girls want to prove they're just as tough as guys are, and we have to prove ourselves that we can hang with the boys.
Organizations such as BOGO Dog and Elite XC are specifically devoted to women's MMA, and there are more than 1,000 female participants registered on the FighterGirls.com database.
I think that more girls are jumping on. They're starting to televise women's MMA. As they get on and more recognition gets brought to it, they're going to start to get a fan base, and people are going to start to follow them and take notice.
Eric Charles is a former UFC fighter and owner of CNY MMA. About 20% of his competition team is made up of women. He feels that regardless of gender, it is important to show respect to your opposition.
Most of the guys, let's be honest, they're a little nervous about breaking a girl. I might hurt her. If I have a guy who won't do it, then he's not going to fight, because mentally he's not able to separate sport from emotion. Okay, I'm going to hit a girl, she's going to cry. What? Not really. She's going to hit you back.
There are several medical concerns when participating in MMA. Consistent blows to the head and body can cause major injuries, such as concussions and internal bleeding.
What's the price? And if it jeopardizes a woman's health or a man's health, either presently or in the near future, or even in the distant future of the ripe old age of 35, maybe we're doing something wrong.
So while protective gear and training will help limit medical concerns, there are still risks. But these fighters will tell you it's well worth the reward.
Recently, Head stepped out of the cage and into the ring for her first competitive boxing match. While boxing isn't her ultimate goal, she was filled with emotions at reaching such an important milestone in her training.
I'm excited, I'm scared, I'm happy, it's just like a roller coaster.
Although it was a disappointing start, Head is already looking ahead.
Actually, I have another fight next weekend. I'm just going to keep training, and eventually I'll do MMA.
While these women athletes put on a show for the crowd, they don't want to be judged based on gender.
For the girls, I don't think it's like that. Like, they want to go out and compete and show that they can compete just like the guys can. And maybe the public is just making it too much with the sex appeal.
For women like Amanda Head, they just want an equal opportunity to compete in this ever-growing sport. Mike Lederer, NCC News.